I think this is very quietly a massive weekend for the Ohio State-Michigan game because both those teams breaking into new quarterbacks, Julian Sayin for Ohio State, Bryce Underwood for Michigan. But are they really being broken in right now? Because I just saw Ohio State against Minnesota for the first time all season, in my opinion, say, okay, Julian, the car is yours, brother. Drive it. And what does he do but go for over 300 yards, a couple of bombs downfield to Carnell Tate, a couple of shots to Jeremiah Smith that were just money in the freaking pocket. And then you had Bryce Underwood, too, against Illinois, go for 270. Had a couple of downfield shots that he looked good taking as well. So I think this weekend is super important for Michigan playing USC and Ohio State playing Illinois. Both games on the road now when it comes to the overall ceiling that both these quarterbacks can accomplish. Because at this point in the year, we're in October, the floor is pretty much set. Like, could there be a gutter ball game out there for both these guys where you have a 2-turnover game from Sayin or Underwood? Sure. But I think for the most part, we have a good gauge as to how they're going to be for the rest of the season. The floor is set. But when you go out there against Illinois, you go out there against USC, I'm curious to see who's able to grow the most from this point forward. Because going into that game, whether it's Sayin or Underwood, it's going to be crucial to have the big dog level of confidence, if you catch my drift there. Like, I don't want Julian Sayin trying to figure out what he is in this offense when we go play in Ann Arbor. Same thing for Bryce Underwood. I don't want him, wondering what kind of version he's going to be given or what kind of game plan he's going to be given with him going to go play against Ohio State. So I think as much as you want to go see both these guys spin it against these teams this weekend and go see them have great numbers and build their confidence and say, yeah, heck yeah, beat your chest, brother. You got the keys to the offense now for both sides. Go ball out. That's 100% something I would ask for. But I honestly, if I'm a fan base for either side of this, I wouldn't hate if we saw either of them have like a shaky half before this game or a shaky game before this game, so long as you win. Because I think there's something to be said for a little bit of adversity before you play in the game. Like if Bryce Underwood trots out there against Ohio State and it's a tough first half, it's tough sledding, he misses on a couple of open throws downfield. If Ohio State allows that, he's got a strip sack that doesn't go his way. I don't want that to be the first time his cage gets rattled. Same thing for Julian Sayin. I don't want him for the first time ever feeling that pressure when we're playing Michigan and it's for us to go have a shot to punch our ticket to the Big Ten title game. I don't want that kind of setting for either of these quarterbacks. So if you have a little bit of adversity, as long as you win, you could be better for it. Could very much so be better for it. Now, there's going to be some high pressure on Bryce Underwood already because of the fact that Michigan's dropped a game, and you got a stretch here where you play at USC, then you play Washington. How he handles this pressure will tell us a lot about the guy because if you go in go 2-0 against those teams, you should feel pretty good about winning the rest of your games relative to the challenges they present compared to like USC and Washington. But the goal for me, if I'm Michigan, get to Ohio State, the Ohio State game, I suppose, get to Ann Arbor playing Ohio State with a record of 9-2 or better. We'll take 10-1, obviously, but 9-2 against a team that you've beaten semi-routinely over the course of the last couple of seasons, awesome. We'll take that every single day of the week for Michigan. So the pressure that is ahead of him to perform to get him to that spot, that's the mission here. That is the mission. Now for Julian Sayin, I think it's fair to, I don't know if leery is the right word, but I think it's fair to question, hey, he's not really an Ohio guy. He's from that C.J. Stroud tree in terms of being a West Coast guy. And, we kind of want this rivalry to mean something to our guys. Like, that's something you heard a lot when Ohio State first started losing to Michigan was, well, I want guys from Ohio that grew up around the rivalry, that hate that other side with every fiber of their being. And I get that. I hear that. But here's my thing, man. When you've lost many times in a row as you lost to Michigan, I like Julian Sayin being removed from this rivalry. I liked him not being burdened emotionally from what the last couple of years have been for Ohio State. As far as I can tell, Julian Sayin's walking in there his first time ever starting against Michigan. And he's like, this is a new thing for me, new experience for me. I'm not trying to make up for what last year was and the year before that. Like, I'm walking in with this rivalry and fresh eyes looking at it. And I think that in itself, not carrying the weight of previous rivalries, will only allow him to play more free. And playing free at the quarterback position allows you to just make better decisions, make bigger throws, all those things. So this weekend, what I want to see from both guys, cut it loose. Cut it loose, and then what does your version of the offense look like going into the month of October and leading into the rest of your season, where ultimately this game will be the crescendo for both of these guys' first years as the guy at their respective spots. So big weekend, Big learning stretch here for both of us, for both these guys when it comes to us, the college football public. But very, very excited to see how they progress and what their ceiling is from this point forward. I think we know the floor, but what's the ceiling for Julian Sayin and Bryce Underwood? Should be fun, man. Should be fun.